Hi guys, welcome back to my Safe Space Kitchen. So today I am back with a pumpkin recipe and it is my pumpkin loaf bread. Y'all, this was an experiment that turned out to be so good I simply could not keep it to myself. But in the meantime, if this is your first time coming across my page, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. While you're here though, hit on that subscribe button, hit on the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Now let's get into this goodness.
Safe Space Kitchenette. Make room at the table. Come on. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running ready.
As always, all ingredients will be listed in the description down below. So in my mixing bowl, I go ahead and add my flour to my sifter and I just sift it. I wanted my my dough to be lighter, so I just sifted it. This is completely optional, you don't have to do this. So once I'm done sifting my flour, I go ahead and add my sugar, and then I add my pumpkin spice and some salt. To this I'm also going to be adding some milk powder and then my yeast. Once I add my yeast dough, I go ahead and I mix it all together. I added my yeast at the very last minute because I didn't want it to have too much contact with my salt. So I go ahead and mix all of my dry ingredients together just like so, and then once it's nicely mixed together, I will attach my dough hook, and then I will start adding my wet ingredients. So here I have my pumpkin puree. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my mixer, and then once I have my pumpkin puree in there, I simply just turn on my mixer and I start the stirring process, right? And I gradually add the rest of my liquid ingredients as my dough continues to mix. So I add my egg, then I add my milk gradually, but while it is mixing dough, you always want to stop your mixer and kind of just scrape down the bowl to make sure that it is mixing evenly, just like so. So once my dough is nicely mixed, the next thing to do is to knead the dough. Now this dough is very soft, as you can see, and so kneading it takes a little bit more time and a lot of patience. Okay, it's a little sticky because it's soft, so I have some flour next to me. That's about a cup of flour, and it's gonna help me knead this dough to perfection. So the first thing that I do is I use my scraper to kind of just scrape it to make sure that I'm not leaving any dough on my surface, and I just keep kneading this dough. Just knead it with lots and lots of flour until I'm able to achieve the texture that I want.
Come on. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running ready. Safe Space Kitchenette. Make room at the table. Make room. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running ready. Ghanaian flavors. Safe Space. Sprinkled with American goodness. Safe Space. With no one and only. Love for the bread.
You guys, kneading this dough was such a task, but remember, like I said, this was an experiment and I was willing to do whatever it took to make it work. So once I'm done kneading my dough, I go ahead and I spray my little bowl with some oil. You can use butter, whatever you have, and then I'm simply going to go ahead and place my dough into my bowl and cover it up first with a saran wrap, and then cover it up again with my damp cloth. Okay, and I'm gonna sit my dough at an area in my kitchen that is warm. Now normally what I do is I sit it in my oven and turn on the light, and that helps my dough rise quickly. So after an hour and a half, my dough has doubled in size, as you can see. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let all of the air out, and then I'm simply going to go ahead and separate it into 3. Now when I initially I was going to separate it into 4, and then when I cut it into 4, I noticed that the sizes were too small, so I went back and I separated it, and I cut it into 3, and I did a proper measurement this time. I eyeballed it at first, but then I went and got my scale and I measured it to make sure that all of the sizes were even. So I go ahead and cut it into 3, and then I go ahead and I roll them out and I make my little bread. I make my little bread shape. It is not perfect, you guys. You see what I'm talking about. Absolutely not perfect. But that is part of the beauty of doing things at home. If I was to buy it from a store, of course, I would expect some type of perfection, right? Like, you know, but because I'm doing it at home and I'm making it for my family, there is no rules to this, okay? However it turns out, believe me, they're gonna love it. So I really just roll my my dough out just like so, and I flip it. I flip both sides to meet in the middle, and I simply just, you know, kind of just fold it in and just keep folding it in. And and somewhere in the back of my mind, I pray and hope that it turns out good. I mean, this method has always worked for me, and so, you know, I don't see the point in, you know, trying something else. Again, like I said, when making it for the family, it really doesn't matter. It works, you know, whatever works for you, just go ahead and do it. So that's what you see me doing here. So I keep, you know, just playing with it, trying to see if I can get a nice shape, and that's just what I do. I keep doing this until I'm comfortable with the shape and I feel like it wouldn't open, you know, and I just put it away. So I really would just spray some of my Baker's Joy into my pan, and then I simply just transfer my my dough into my pan, and this would be the second part where my dough would rise again. So this is what my doughs look like once I'm done shaping them. They don't look that great and they don't look that horrible either, okay? Hey, don't judge me. I think I did fine. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up with my saran wrap. I make sure I cover it up really nice and tight. I cover every single container differently. And once that's done, I go ahead and I cover everything with my damp cloth, and I really just let this sit for another hour.
Oh, come on. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running ready. Safe Space Kitchenette. Make room at the table.
So after an hour, this is what my bread looks like. As you can see, it has doubled in size and it's looking really good. And so the next thing that I do is I go ahead and take off the saran wraps, and then I warm up a little bit of honey. What I'm going to do with the honey is I'm simply going to brush it on top of my dough and sprinkle a little bit of pumpkin seeds on top of it. Now this is completely optional. You do not have to do this. I just thought it would look nice, you know, presenting it. You don't have to do it. It's just optional. I happen to have some pumpkin seeds at home, and I thought for presentation it would look nice, so, you know, I did it. But you definitely can omit this and it'd be completely fine. So once I do this dough, I go ahead and preheat my oven at 325 because that is the temperature that I'm going to be baking my bread. Now before I bake my bread, I go ahead and add some water to a pan and place it at the second tier of my oven, just so it can help my bread retain moisture while I bake it. And I bake my bread for 25 minutes, and after 25 minutes, this is what it looks like. Look at that bread, you guys. Look at that. You cannot tell me this does not look good, because it looks good, okay? You know you're lying if you're saying it doesn't look good. You're lying. Anyway, so I let it sit out for about 2 minutes, and then I go ahead and I transfer it onto the cooling rack and let this cool completely. So now that the bread has been cooled completely, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut a slice just to show you guys what it looks like on the inside. And hopefully it is fully baked on the inside and it is edible, okay? Hopefully. So here I go ahead and I cut a slice, and of course it is baked beautifully on the inside, and when you put a little bit of pressure on it, it bounces right up. So that's your indication that it is done, and it is done well. So this is the end of this video, you guys. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video, hit on that subscribe button and hit on the notification bell so you don't miss another video. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for subscribing, and to my old ones, thank you so much for sticking it out with me. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much, and until next time, I'll see you in my next video.